So good afternoon, everyone. It's a great day to be a Ball State Cardinal, isn't it? Yes. All right. So as you know, my name is Jeff Mearns, and I have the great good fortune to serve as the president here at Ball State University, and it is my pleasure and my privilege to welcome all of you to this special day, to this special program. We've gathered here today to welcome our new Director of Athletics, Jeff Mitchell, and his family, April and Harper and Carson. So as you know, I selected Jeff to serve as our next AD after an extensive national search, and this process was guided by a screening committee that I assembled a few months ago in the fall. The committee consisted of a few coaches, a couple of our outstanding student athletes, some athletics and campus administrators, and some of our most generous and loyal supporters. So I see a lot of the screening committee here. I think virtually all of them are here. If you served on the screening committee, would you please stand so we can express our appreciation to you for your service and your support. So I have to recognize two members of that group, two members in particular, two women who really helped lead that search process. Charlene Alexander and Stephanie Arrington. Charlene served as the chair of the screening committee, and I know I am grateful for her commitment. And Charlene, please know how much I value your judgment and your advice today and every day. And then Stephanie, all of you know Stephanie Arrington, the other member of the A-team. Stephanie was responsible for organizing all the meetings, organizing all the materials. preparing all of the meeting minutes and preparing the travel arrangements. As all of you know, if you want a program or an event to go smoothly, your first call is to Stephanie Arrington. And if you call Stephanie, you know it will go smoothly, and I call Stephanie all the time. Stephanie, thank you so much for all that you do for me every day. So I think it's also important today for me and for all of us to express our appreciation to Ken Butoff. As you know, Ken has served as our interim director of athletics since September. And during this transition, Ken has been a steady, thoughtful leader and a good partner for all of us on campus. So I have to be careful here because, college coaches, and there are a couple of them in the room, as you know, they're a special breed, right, Ken? They're passionate. They have high expectations for themselves and for their student athletes. And Ken, you have led them so well during this time of transition. And you have kept our fans and our alumni fully engaged, and our teams have performed on the court and on the field as well as ever before. So Ken, please stand so we can express our appreciation to all of you. We are all indebted to you, and personally, very grateful for it. I'm not sure I'll ever be able to repay you. Thank you, Ken. At Ball State, we're also very fortunate to have a board of trustees that supports our student athletes and supports our sports programs. They understand that preparing for and competing as a Division I athlete helps our student athletes prepare for the challenges and the opportunities that await them after they graduate. Our trustees also know that success in competition ignites passion on our campus, and it brings pride among our more than 200,000 living Ball State alumni. 3 of our 9 trustees are particularly interested and particularly invested in our athletics programs because they competed as Cardinals when they were students here at Ball State. Rick Hall and Mark Hardwick played on some of the best basketball teams in our university's history, and Henry Hall was an outstanding football player when he was here at Ball State. But the most dedicated and passionate member of our Board of Trustees is Trustee Mike McDaniel. For more than 50 years, I think it's probably even a little more than 50 years, Mike has attended Ball State sporting events to cheer on our Cardinals and to share some constructive suggestions to the referees and the umpires. So on this special occasion, I have asked Mike to share a few words about why our Board of Trustees supports our Cardinals and why he's so excited in welcoming Jeff to our university.
He changed it up on me. He must have saw my notes because he said they're going to have him come up for a few words. I said, I can go about 20, 30 minutes. He said, that's fine. I'll quit listening after about 10. But before we welcome Jeff and his beautiful family to the Ball State family, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of Ball State University, I want to reaffirm our belief in intercollegiate athletics as an important and integral part of a great university, especially here at Ball State, where athletics has such a rich and glorious tradition. Great intercollegiate athletic programs have 4 vital components, at least in my mind they do. The first is great people leading the programs. The second is great athletes dedicated to excel. The third is great facilities. And the fourth is great academic support. And Ball State has all 4. As far as great people leading our programs, we have a great tradition of high quality, high character, and highly committed athletic directors and staff, coaches and staff. And we've had some great athletic directors in our time. Just look at the last 20 years. Bubba Cunningham, who's now the AD at North Carolina. Tom Collins, who's still associated with Arizona State. Bill Scholl, the AD at Marquette. Mark Sandy, who texted me in the middle of the game the other night during a 91-90 win because he was watching on national TV from South Carolina. He was also making some suggestions to me to say some things to the referee when he came in. And of course, Beth Getz, who did a tremendous job as the athletic director here at Ball State, who's now at Iowa. During her time here, not only did we perform better than we ever have academically in all 19 of our athletic programs, but the changes in facilities during her time were dramatic and put us at the top of the MAC and certainly competitive within the university in the United States. And so we've had a long stretch of outstanding athletic directors. And again, I want to thank Ken also. Ken, about a month ago, buddy, and you're out of here. And I know his wife's going to be happy about that because this will be the second time he's retired in a year. Second thing a great athletic program needs is students who are dedicated to excel both on the field and in the classroom. Think about how hard it is to be an intercollegiate athlete. Practice every day, trying to get to your classes, make sure your work's done for your academics, and then the games themselves and the competition involved there. It's got to be very, very difficult for these young people to do what they do. And I know all of us have a great deal of respect for that effort for everybody on every team because it's not easy, and they do it well, and especially here. The time and dedication required is extraordinary. Again, we have a rich tradition of tremendous student athletes, both on the field and in the classroom. And we're very proud of these young men and women. And I can tell you that, as Jeff said, we have 3 members of the Board of Trustees who are athletes who won varsity letters at Ball State. What he didn't say was Rick Hall, who works at the second best law firm in Indiana. I work at Krieg DeVault, that's for all your legal needs. Rick was the first winner nationally of the Walter Byers Award as the top student athlete in the United States, and he was the first recipient of that. And Rick Majerus used to say, Rick Hall increased the academic average of the basketball team by 2 points by himself. Mark Hardwick, whose teams, as Jeff said, were great teams, and Mark looks like he can still play today. Is Mark here? No? Must be making money at the bank. Mark, his teams are actually in Ball State's Hall of Fame, and he's a great member of the Board of Trustees. And Henry Hall, who played football here, was a defensive end, and looks like he could still do it today, was not only a 2-time All-MAC team player, he was a 2-time All-MAC academic player. And so Henry, a very successful businessman in Fort Wayne. So these people truly have a passion for intercollegiate athletics. They understand the importance of it and what a difference it can make in students' lives, and they're very supportive of intercollegiate athletics at Ball State University. The third thing you always need are great facilities. I grew up about 6 blocks from campus. Used to ride my bicycle over to in front of Ball Memorial Hospital to see football, football, baseball, and track. Now, Ken Mitchell was a baseball player. He played college ball and coached ball. If you can imagine this, Ken, the cinder track around the football field where I used to ride my bike out and sit on the lawn to watch us play football at Ball State, the cinder track went through center field and right field of the baseball field. You can imagine what it must, right, Ken? You remember that. What it must have been like to navigate playing in the outfield at our baseball facility running through a cinder track at Ball State. To say that the facilities have dramatically improved at Ball State would be an understatement. When I was in school here in the 70s and on through the 70s, we'd go to men's gym. Now, can you imagine calling something men's gym today? That's where we went to watch Ball State basketball. And nothing was more exciting than to watch Ball State beat Purdue at men's gym. I know you were there. And it was one of the most exciting days I can ever remember. But because we had such good teams with Rick Majerus and Coach Hunsiker, that's what gave us the catalyst to dream about what is now called Worthen Arena, which is truly still one of the great basketball venues in all of the MAC. President Worthen's here. President Worthen. Hello. I had the pleasure of working for President Worthen, and I couldn't think of a better person to name that facility after. He had great leadership at Ball State and loves our sports, still comes to all the games he can, and it's great to have you here today to welcome our new athletic director. So Worthen Arena is still one of the great buildings. In fact, it was dedicated in 1992, January 15th. We played Miami of Ohio, the evil Redskins, our most hated rival in all of the Mid-American Conference. And I was working, lobbying the legislature at the time, and I invited the entire Indiana General Assembly to come to opening night at Worthen Arena, and it was sold out. We had a snowstorm that day with about 8 inches of snow. I called my buddy at the Department of Transportation in Indianapolis, and I said, you better make I-69 so you can land Air Force One on there, because I got the whole legislature going to Muncie to basketball. We made it after 2 hours and 15 minutes from the State House and saw Ball State beat the evil Redskins by 71-62. Not that I remember those kinds of things. But also in 1992, we hosted the NCAA Men's Volleyball Championship at Worthen Arena. So Worthen Arena's got a long, great tradition, still one of the great venues in all of college sports, but especially in the Mid-American Conference. In the last decade, the transformation of facilities has been amazing. Thanks in good part to Cardinal Commitment Campaign, where we raised a lot of money to help these particular facilities, but also the great generosity of a lot of people, including Ken and Peggy Briner and the complex that we have here in their name. Also the Schumann family and what they've done for the university, and I could go on and on. But without that philanthropy, I mean, it'd be impossible for us to have the kind of facilities that we have today. The remodeling of Schumann Stadium, the beautiful indoor practice facility, the Ken and Peggy Briner complex, the baseball softball complex has been upgraded tremendously, and the indoor golf facility next door is just state of the art. So we have the outstanding facilities that any good athletic program needs to have. And finally, number 4 is great academic support. And I'm very proud to say that we take great pride in student-athlete support services for their education and academic careers, contributions to their intellectual, personal, and social development towards completion of a degree at Ball State University and preparation for life. Every year, the GPA of our student-athletes ranks among the best in the nation, and for this, we are very, very proud. I'm proud to say we do it right at Ball State University. And I'm also proud to say that the Board of Trustees continue to be committed to supporting intercollegiate athletics. And let me just say this to welcome Ken and his family. Within 5 minutes after it was posted that you were going to be the next athletic director at Ball State, my friend Carl Heck, who's here today, who worked in the athletic departments at Butler and at Penn State, called me immediately and said, you couldn't get a better hire than this guy. Said he's tremendous, he's going to do great things at Ball State. Just went on and on. How much did you pay Carl to make that? But anyway, that's the kind of response I've been getting from people that know him. And so we're excited about it. And so without further ado, I get to reintroduce the best college president in Indiana, Jeff Burns.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for your dedicated service to Ball State, for being a Cardinal fan for so many years, and I'm fortunate to serve as the president here under your leadership. So it's now my privilege to introduce Jeff Mitchell as our new AD. Jeff's experience, as you know, makes him very well qualified to lead our outstanding athletics department. He was a college athlete. He played baseball at Millsaps College in Mississippi. In addition to a bachelor's degree, Jeff has earned an MBA at Millsaps and a law degree from the University of Mississippi. And you know you can never have too many lawyers on your leadership team. Jeff also has extensive experience in athletics administration. He spent 12 years at Santa Clara University, including several months there as the interim AD. Since 2018, Jeff has been the Deputy Athletics Director at the University of Southern Mississippi. In that role, he helped Southern Miss transition to the Sun Belt Conference, which is an FBS institution and an FBS conference that's very similar to Ball State and to the MAC. And at that institution, he also served briefly as the interim AD. Through these experiences, Jeff understands the many challenges confronting college sports, from the NIL to the transfer portal, and we probably could go on. But like any strong leader, Jeff embraces these challenges for us, for himself, and for us to grow and to thrive and excel. As I said, his experience makes him very well qualified to be our athletics director. But what particularly impressed me, and I think particularly impressed all the members of the screening committee, was Jeff's character. Jeff understands why we sponsor. Jeff understands why we invest in intercollegiate athletics. Yes, we want to win. We want to win on the court, on the field, on the track, because winning brings positive attention to our university. It helps us recruit more students. It helps us generate some revenue. And yes, we want to compete on a national stage because it instills pride among our 200,000 living alumni. But Jeff understands that we sponsor intercollegiate sports because it prepares our students and our student athletes for fulfilling careers and meaningful lives, which is our mission. And I selected Jeff because he embraces our values. Throughout his career and throughout his life, Jeff has demonstrated a commitment to excellence, to integrity, to courage, to social responsibility, to inclusiveness, and to gratitude. And in a moment, I anticipate that Jeff will tell you that he feels fortunate to have the opportunity to join the Ball State University community. And he's right. This is a special place. But I'll tell you this, as you're about to find out, we are very fortunate to have Jeff Mitchell as our next Director of Athletics. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Mitchell.
Can't fake chill bumps. I learned that a long time ago. And so I have them right now, and it's not about the cold weather outside either. It's the natural reaction to this moment. And to President Mearns, thank you very much for this opportunity. Mike, thank you for the master class in the history of Ball State over the last hour and a half. It's much appreciated. To Dr. Charlene Alexander, thank you for running a thorough and thoughtful search process. And I echo President Mearns' gratitude to Stephanie Arrington for keeping all the trains on time and especially organizing the Mitchell's Muncie experience over the last few days. Thank you very much. To Ken, thank you for your leadership, and to the entire athletics department staff and coaches over the last several months. I've been there, I understand what it's like to go through a transition period, and I'm grateful that you are keeping Ball State athletics on the tracks as well. A special note of gratitude to Kayla Jones and Joey Ranieri. They're not able to join us today. They're busy student athletes. But let me tell you something. If our 400 student athletes are half as talented as Kayla and Joey, we've got a very bright future. During the interview process, I commented to a group that I had long had a dream about being the starting shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals. The last few weeks, this is my third trip to the area in as many weeks, I've been getting the eye being sized up by Coach Maloney. And I began to get the point that I didn't think the future dream of being the shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals was going to come to reality. And when he called me on Friday to congratulate me on the job, and he said, you know what, you're going to be a great fit for the Ball State Cardinals as Director of Athletics. So it is an honor to be your athletics director. I'd like to categorize my remarks today in three different parts. The first is to extend some remarks of gratitude. The second is about excitement and opportunity. And the third is to issue a challenge to all of us. I'm not standing before you today if it were not for three friends and mentors. The first of which is Dan Coonan, who is the current commissioner of the ECAC and former athletics director at Santa Clara. Thank you for taking a chance on a kid fresh out of law school who appeared on your doorstep begging for the opportunity to volunteer. I appreciate the fact that you said yes. The second is current director of athletics at Santa Clara, Dr. Renee Baumgartner. It's the coach in you, but you unlocked my full potential by your encouragement, and I appreciate you. And the third is current director of athletics, Jeremy McLean at Southern Miss. Thank you for your wise counsel and your steady example of how to run an athletics department. I appreciate your continuous encouragement. It's about to get a little harder now on this gratitude part as we start talking about family. To my parents, Lim and Alice Mitchell, and in-laws, Wynn and Brenda Sladen. I didn't think this was going to happen. Thank you for your unconditional love and support. And to my sister Julia, who, by the way, is the best pediatrician in Louisville, Kentucky, and we're excited to be closer to her. Thank you for always being my biggest fan. To my wife, April, who says I'm not allowed to say anything about her, but I will say this, on our first date, this is some 25 years ago, we enjoyed dinner and a movie, and the name of the movie was What Dreams May Come. That may sound sweet. The movie itself wasn't very sweet, but the adventures and the dreams that we've shared continue to unfold, and I love you very much. To Harper Wynn and Carson, our two children, your dreams are ahead of you too, and we encourage you to pursue them, and Mom and I love you very much as well. I've got a few good friends that have appeared in surprise fashion today, and to Renee and Kurt and Carl, thank you very much for being here. We joked in our NCAA Pathway program that I didn't need the LL Bean catalog because you guys at Penn State and Michigan and IUPUI regularly subscribe to it, but I think we need it now, so I'll take it. The second is opportunity and excitement. One of the numerous texts that I got recently said, "Congratulations on realizing your dream," just to continue that theme for a second. And I've been asked before about what my dream job is or was. And I've always responded with, I don't really know how to answer that question. It's not so much a place as it is an opportunity that presents stability and a growth mindset, an opportunity where enlightened people are for each other, an opportunity where enduring values guide our life, our work, and our play. And over the past few months, and especially the past few weeks, it has become abundantly clear that that opportunity is right here at Ball State. To our student athletes, coaches, staff, alumni, fans, and friends, I'm excited about this opportunity because it means that I get to be on your team. As Director of Athletics, I vow to be a great teammate as we advance Cardinal Athletics to greater success, and I look forward to unlocking our full potential together. In my initial outreach to our head coaches on Friday, I issued a very simple statement to all of them. It was a consistent message that we are going to thrive. We are in the development business. I want to help develop winners, and I want our coaches and student athletes to be people for others in the spirit of excellence. Here's what I know. Ball State consists of leaders and winners. We are determined, we are creative, we are intelligent, we are thoughtful, we are respectful, we are inclusive, we are curious, we are encouraging, we are tough, we are grateful, and we don't put limits on things we can accomplish together. So together, may we thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, go Cards. I can't wait to get started.
So I hope you now can see what those of us who participated in that process could see, that we are quite fortunate that Jeff Mitchell has chosen to become a Ball State Cardinal. Before we conclude our program, though, I want to tell you how fortunate we are that April is also joining our team. Because he was prohibited from saying too much. That rule doesn't apply to me. Over the course of my career, I've hired a lot of outstanding people. But last week when Jeff called to accept my offer, he and April did it in a special way, in a way that I will never forget. See, a few hours after I offered Jeff the position, he sent me a text. And Jeff told me he was at home for lunch with April and that they wanted to speak with me. That was unusual. And a few moments later, Jeff called, and then he immediately handed his phone to April. April said that she knew Jeff had told me how excited he was about this opportunity. But April told me that she wanted to tell me personally how excited she was for this opportunity. April said that working together, they had been preparing for many years for Jeff to get a chance to be an AD at a university like Ball State, an outstanding academic institution that excelled at the Division I FBS level. But April told me that they were especially excited, and Jeff used these same words, that this opportunity exceeded their expectations because of what Jeff had told her about the quality and character of the people he had met during the interview process. She told me they were particularly excited and pleased and grateful about what they had learned about the culture on our campus, a distinctive culture that is defined by our commitment to the enduring values that are represented by beneficence. As April spoke, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps because I realized that we had not simply hired an outstanding leader. I realized that in that call, I realized that we were going to be joined by an outstanding family. And I got goosebumps, and maybe you're getting a few right now. I got goosebumps because I am now more confident than ever before that our best days are yet to come. So after we conclude this program, there's going to be a reception just outside the room. But first, Jeff and I are going to go next door and answer some questions from our friends in the media. And then Jeff and I will join you in the atrium. But before we wrap up in here, we've got one more thing to do to complete this special program. I don't know whether Jeff and April and their children have yet learned our fight song. So I've arranged to have an audio of the fight song pumped into the room. And so I ask all of you, as you're able, to please stand, to rise and sing the fight song, and to teach them the Ball State fight song for the first time. And we got Charlie Cardinal here. Let's go. Thank you all for joining us, and let's go Cardinals. you.